Okay, set of numbers, hot to the barrel. Of course, we're still some time away, but commodities, a space we'll watch. But right now, as always, let's talk mutual funds. And our theme this week, as we told you, is regarding tax saving schemes and or ELSS schemes. And we've been focusing on the 5 top performers in that category for 2009. Now, if you take a look at the 3-year annualized returns, well, the fund that comes out on top is the Taurus Tax Shield Fund. Let's talk a little bit more about that fund's performance and bring in our guest, Dhirendra Kumar of Value Research. Dhirendra, many thanks for joining us. First of all, we've got a couple of queries as far as our viewers are concerned. But first, I want you to talk about the Taurus Tax Shield Fund. In terms of your view, how has the fund really stood out in the ups and downs of the equity markets?
This fund looks very promising. It is a very old fund. It was launched in '96, and it has a long history of relative underperformance. But past 3.5–4 years, it has come up very smartly. There are a couple of things going for this fund. One is its portfolio focus, and the portfolio spread therein. It's a small fund, 28 crore, and it is mid cap and small cap focused, run like an opportunity fund, and fairly diversified portfolio. I think the largest position is not exceeding 4%. And so the portfolio very well spread on a 3-year basis, and it has translated into superlative performance, 3 times than the category average over the past 3 years. In recent times, it is showing weakness, but I think one has to look at these funds with a slightly longer time frame, because once you invest, you are there for 3 years anyway. And these funds, if they are run like this, it is good, because if it's a compromise on liquidity for investor, it should translate into some benefit. And if in the process the fund is assuming risk prudently and to generate superior return, I think, and it has paid off for the fund.
Dhirendra, let me just sort of to continue with that discussion. Let me also bring in a query here. Raghav Sharma has written in. Now he's saying that if you look at the sort of a breakup of this particular fund, a large part of the investment there is in pharma stocks, 4 pharma stocks, Divi's, Biocon, Piramal, Ranbaxy. Does that make it a defensive play?
It could be in a certain way, but I would say that these are more than a defensive play. It's top bets on pharma companies. I think it's more of an opportunistic play, because Ranbaxy today is not a generic pharma play, but if it is a take on Ranbaxy, that it will not be. Likewise, Divi's Lab, which is the top holding of the fund, is also a very different, it's a special situation in the pharma space. So I would say that one should not look at the holding in terms of the fund managers bet on a sector, but more in terms of opportunity.
Okay, Dhirendra, I'm going to cut you in here, because we've got a lot of queries coming in, and we've got one coming in from Neeti Jain, and she wants to know whether the fund's performance over the 3-year horizon, the next 3-year horizon, could actually be better than HDFC Tax Savers.
I hope so, because but HDFC Tax Saver has a very solid track record, and it has come up very smartly after every decline, and this fund is showing momentum. It has been able to deliver little superior return over the past 1.5–2 years relative to HDFC Tax Saver, but it's very difficult to see to guess that over the next 3 years how it will pan out. This fund looks promising. It has one advantage vis-a-vis HDFC Tax Saver, that it is relatively small. Some smart bets can translate into solid performance relative to HDFC Tax Saver, which is nearly 2,000 crore, and unless it gets lucky with some of its big bets, it may not. It's difficult to sustain its performance.
Dhirendra, finally we've got Mahesh, who's actually a student in Mumbai, writing in, and Mahesh is saying, if he's a student, does he still need to be looking at tax saving funds?
I think he is certainly a very wealthy student, and it's a good idea if he has, being a student, and if he has income which requires tax shelter, he should consider one. And for somebody like him, HDFC Tax Saver or even Taurus Tax Shield, if he's willing to take chances, looks promising.
Okay, Dhirendra, on that note, we'll catch up with you again tomorrow, same time. Remember, keep those queries coming in. That's on the mutual fund segment. Thanks so much. And as always, we'll leave you with our ET Classroom. Today, it's telling you a little bit more about what a close-ended fund is all about.